Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today I want to talk to you about having a home safety plan. If 2020 has not taught us anything, it's taught us to expect the unexpected. When it comes to parenting and to guiding our children, we want to make sure to prepare them for an emergency. Does your child know what to do in case of a tornado, an earthquake, a fire, an intruder? It's important to have those conversations and then to do some practice. So I want to give you a few quick steps to go over with your kids. The first is explaining exactly what each emergency is. What does it mean if there's a fire? What does the fire detector sound like? What does it signal you to do? How will we know if there's an earthquake? What's the best plan for protecting ourselves in case of that emergency? An intruder? Most people don't think of an intruder coming into their homes. How will your child know exactly what that is? And what danger may accompany an intruder without them being too afraid to take action? Defining what those emergencies are very important, and defining them at an age-appropriate level. You don't want to tell your 3-year-old all of the dangers that could come from an intruder. That might be a little bit scary for them, and so you want to make it as informative and as effective as possible. The second thing you want to do is make sure that your child has access to information regarding dialing 911. Now, obviously, it's a very easy number to remember, but it's important that your child knows what constitutes an emergency, when to call, and how to call. If there's a lock on your phone, if you don't have a home phone, which most people don't, they need to have access to finding help or calling for help. If something were to happen to you and it was just you and your child, how would they be able to alert 911? Is there a neighbor, a close loved one, or someone that they can reach and contact in case of an emergency? Do they have their own cell phone or device that could help them to alert others that there's an emergency? Sometimes we don't think about those questions until the emergency arises. We want to be really proactive and consider different scenarios that our children may find themselves in, and then empower them with the tools, with the skills, and with the knowledge to navigate them. You want to have a diagram, some drawing that identifies exit routes and ways to get to safety. Now, this will be really important for you, for your child to commit to memory, but also if you have a loved one, a babysitter, or someone looking after your child, you can let them know that there is a guide in order to help them to get to safety. Don't have them rely on in the moment making those tough decisions. Plan it out, think it out ahead of time, and then give them the blueprint to be successful in case of an emergency. Often there's equipment that is directly related to an emergency. There's the smoke detector, there might be a fire alarm, maybe there's a fire extinguisher, maybe you have some way of calling for help or defending yourself in case of emergency. You want to make sure to take the time to explain that to your children, to break down exactly what the equipment is, how it's to be used, how it's not to be used, and stress the importance of maintaining respect and care for emergency equipment. If you were on a boat and you needed your life vest, you're not going to be swinging your life vest over your head, twirling it. That equipment is important, and that equipment can be the difference between life and death, danger and safety. You also want to practice. It's one thing to talk about where the fire extinguisher is, to talk about the exits in case of emergency, to talk about where your meeting places are, both in and outside of the home. It's another thing to practice, to run a drill. Now, I remember fire drills as a student. I'm also familiar with them as a teacher, and I know the importance of repetition and practice. When you practice something enough, it becomes second nature. And even in the case of an emergency, if a child has practiced how to effectively and safely leave their home, how to effectively and safely handle a fire, how to effectively and safely manage the level of panic and make it out to safety, they're going to perform when the real situation occurs. Now, these are not easy things to consider. We never want to think about our home on fire, an intruder coming in, an earthquake, or some other type of emergency. Of course, no one expects these types of emergencies, but it's always good to have a plan in place. If you need more information, I got a lot of these tips from safety.com. You can find a template for your home safety plan, for the map with the best routes to your indoor and outdoor meeting places. And especially with more time spent at home, you want to make sure that your emergency plan is rock solid. Practice, revise, adapt, and make sure that you and your family are prepared for anything. Until next time, bye-bye.